Hello students and welcome to this video of mobile and wireless communication. In today's video we are going to see the WiMAX, then wireless LAN and mobile ad hoc networks. I am Mrs. Pawar. These are the course outcomes and these are the unit outcomes. So let us just first see the wireless networks that we use and how they are uh, having coverage area. Hmm? The bigger or the biggest one is the satellite and global area network. Then we have cellular mobile network like GPRS and 3G etc. Fixed broadband wireless, that is 802.16. Then we have limited coverage in local area networks. Standard is 802.11 and personal area network. From bottom to top, the cost is reduced and complexity is also reduced. So what is WLAN and WPAN? WLAN म्हणजे वायरलेस लोकल एरिया नेटवर्क आणि WPAN म्हणजे वायरलेस प्रायव्हेट एरिया नेटवर्क. Okay, so or it is also called as wireless personal area network. So here you can see as we go from WPAN to WMN, the complexity is increasing, power consumption is increasing because area is also increasing, data rate is also increasing. Different standards are there in between. So let us start with the wireless local area networks. IEEE group published a standard for WLANs named IEEE 802.11. Now it is known as IEEE 802.11a. Higher bitrate 4G ISM band resulted in high-speed standard called IEEE 802.11b, popularly known as Wi-Fi, can be used to have an ad hoc network using peer-to-peer mode or as client server wireless configuration. So there are two types of networks shown in the diagram for wireless LAN. So let's start with IEEE 802.11 standard. It is a standard for wireless LANs. It specifies MAC procedure and operates in 2.4 GHz range with data rate of 1 Mbps or optionally 2 Mbps. User demand for higher bit rates and international availability of 2.4 GHz band has resulted in development of high-speed standard in same carrier frequency range. This standard called 802.11b specifies a PHY, that is physical layer, providing a basic data rate of 11 Mbps and 5.5 Mbps. Then in ad hoc network mode, as there is no central controller, wireless access cards use the CSMA or CA protocol to resolve shared access of the channel. In the client server configuration, many PCs and laptops physically close to each other, la range hai 200 to 500 meters, can be linked to a central hub AP. A larger area can be covered by installing several APs. The access point track, APs means access point, track movement of users and make decisions on whether to allow users to communicate. WLAN cards would be operated in continuous aware mode, that is radio is always on, and power saving polling mode, radio in sleep state, to extend the battery life. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की आपल्या PC मध्ये सुद्धा LAN cards असतात, correct? So here you can have that explanation. Now what is the architecture? How the 802.11 architecture is there? The architecture of 802.11 WLAN is designed to support a network where most decision making is distributed to mobile stations. This type of architecture has several advantages. It is tolerant of faults in all of the WLAN equipment and eliminates possible bottlenecks a centralized architecture would introduce. The architecture is flexible and can easily support both small transient networks and large semi-permanent or permanent networks. In addition, the architecture and protocols offer significant power saving and prolong the battery life mobile equipment without losing network connectivity. So as we can see here, the architecture is flexible. It can support small networks also and it can support large networks also. Then these are the two architectures defined. First is infrastructure network. An infrastructure network is the network architecture for providing communication between wireless clients and wired network resources. The transition of data from the wireless to wired medium occurs via an AP. An AP and its associated wireless clients define the coverage area. Together, all the devices from basic service set. And next type architecture is point to point, that is ad hoc network. An ad hoc network is the architecture that is used to support mutual communication between wireless clients. Typically an ad hoc network is created spontaneously. ओके, जसं आपलं वायर्ड लॅन असतं परमनंटली मिळेल असं नाही, तर ॲडॉक when required it will be created and does not support access to wired networks. Ad hoc network does not require an AP. So this is the architecture. You can see here various access points are there, various stations are there. Then we have BSS, that is basic service set, and ES is extended service set. Okay, so it's a simple architecture. You can easily understand it by looking at the diagram. IEEE 802.11 supports three basic topologies for WLANs: the independent basic service set, IBSS, the basic service set, and the extended service set, ESS. The MAC layer supports implementation of IBSS, basic service set, and ESS configuration. Independent basic service set is the IBSS configuration is referred to an independent configuration or an ad hoc network. An IBSS configuration is analogous to peer-to-peer office network in which no single node is required to act as a server. IBSS WLANs include a number of nodes or wireless stations that communicate directly with one another on an ad hoc peer-to-peer basis. Generally, IBSS implementation cover a limited area and not connected to any large network. IBSS is typically a short-lived network with a small number of stations that is created for a particular purpose. So it is a ad hoc network, it is not a permanent network. Basic service set. The basic service set configuration relies on an AP that acts as logical server for a single WLAN cell or channel. Communications between station 1 and station 4 actually flow from station 1 to AP1 and then from AP1 to AP2 and then from AP2 to AP4 and finally AP4 to station 4. The AP performs a bridging function and connects multiple WLAN cells or channels and connects WLAN cells to a wired enterprise LAN. Here you can see the wireless networks, different standards are there. First is wireless PANs, Bluetooth, which we have completed in previous video. It has very low range and wireless connections to printers, etc. We use Bluetooth, you know it. Then wireless LANs, the Wi-Fi, IEEE 802.11 infrastructure as well as ad hoc networks possible. Where it is used in home or office networking. Then multi-hop ad hoc networks, it is useful when infrastructure is not available, it is impractical or is expensive. There we use ad hoc networks. म्हणजे तुम्हाला जर का परमनंट नेटवर्क्स किंवा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर नेटवर्क्स हे अवेलेबलच नसतील किंवा प्रॅक्टिकली पॉसिबल नसेल किंवा खूप महाग त्याचं एक्सपेंडिचर जात असेल, ॲट दॅट टाईम वी यूज द ॲड हॉक नेटवर्क्स. वेअर वी यूज इट इन मिलिटरी ॲप्लिकेशन्स और इन एमर्जन्सीज. Then wireless MANs, that is WiMAX 802.16 standard. It is similar to cellular networks We have completed that earlier, isn't it? And traditional base station infrastructure systems. So they are similar to that. Here you can see it is very similar to which we have covered earlier, cellular networks. Then WiMAX, that is worldwide interoperability for microwave access. BWA is broadband wireless access. These are the terms which are used in the earlier diagram. You can see those. This is the WiMAX overview. Complement the existing last mile wired network. Fast deployment and cost saving. Fast deployment means you can easily set up it and it is cost saving. Then high speed data can be used. Voice and video services are there. Fixed BWA and mobile BWA. What are the benefits of WiMAX? Speed, it is faster than broadband. Wireless, not having to lay cables, it reduces costs. Easier to extend to suburban and rural areas. Then broad coverage, much wider coverage than Wi-Fi hotspots. This is the evolution, how we started with 802.16, and as the year progressed, we have come up with the different newer standards. This is the IEEE 802.16 specifications. In the diagram you can see the different standards are there and what are the different services and technologies were used for those standards. It is the comparison of two standards. Technical specifications are there. Then WiMAX means Wi-Fi consists of two parts. A WiMAX tower, similar to concept to a cell phone tower, isn't it? A single WiMAX tower can provide coverage to very large area. It is as big as 3000 square miles. A WiMAX receiver, the receiver and antenna could be a small box or PCMCIA card. They could be built into a laptop the way Wi-Fi access is today. Okay, so there are main two components in the WiMAX. How WiMAX works? WiMAX can provide two forms of wireless services: non-LOS Wi-Fi sort of service, where a small antenna on a computer connects to the tower, uses lower frequency range 2 to 11 GHz. Then LOS. LOS means line of sight. म्हणजे एका सरळ रेषेत आपल्याला जर का ट्रान्समीटर आणि रिसिव्हर असतील त्याला लाईन ऑफ साईट म्हणतात. Where a fixed antenna points straight at the WiMAX tower from a rooftop or pole. The LOS connection is stronger and more stable, so it is able to send a lot of data with fewer errors. Uses higher frequencies with ranges reaching a possible 66 GHz. Through stronger LOS antennas, WiMAX transmitting stations would send data to WiMAX enabled computers or routers set up within 30-mile radius. Then this spectrum is used 5.25 and 5.85 GHz. Okay, this includes band between this. In upper band, 5G band, 5 GHz band, 5.725 to 5.850 GHz. Then licensed band is between 3.4 to 3.6 GHz. And the third band is licensed 2.5 GHz. There are mainly three spectrum bands for global deployment. First was licensed 5G, second is licensed 3.5G, and third is 2.5 GHz. This is mobile ad hoc network or MANET. This is the last type of network we are going to study, mobile ad hoc network or MANET. It is the architecture. Here you can see there are various technologies, those are enabled. Then networking is there, application and middleware is there. Then cross-layer issues are also there. The architecture of mobile ad hoc network MANET is shown in the figure below, and it is grouped into three main classifications, which are as follows: enabling technologies, then BAN body area network, then PAN personal area network, and WLANs wireless local area networks. What is a MANET? Means mobile ad hoc network. It is formed by wireless hosts which may be mobile, which are not stationary, those are moving. No pre-existing infrastructure is there. Routes between nodes may potentially contain multiple hops. Nodes act as root or router to forward packets for each other, and node mobility may cause the route change. So here you can see in the first diagram their position is different, in the second diagram position has changed. So now we have to change the routing also. Why manets are used? Because they have advantages. What advantages are there? It is having low cost, flexibility, ease and speed of deployment. Deployments means setting up. Decreased dependence on infrastructure. Then where are used? Manets are used in military environment for soldiers, tanks and planes. Those are used in civilian environments, vehicle networks, conferences, stadiums or outside activities, and in emergency operations manets are used. Those are search and rescue and policing and firefighting. Then what are the challenges in manets? Collaborations. We need collaborations to maintain a manet and its functionality. How to collaborate effectively and efficiently, and how to motivate and force nodes to collaborate. These are the challenges, or you can say drawbacks. And dynamic topology must be there. Means nodes are moving, nodes are not stationary. So nodes mobility is a challenge, and interference in wireless communication is also a challenge. Now there are different routing protocols used in manets. Those are proactive protocols, reactive protocols, and hybrid protocols. Examples are also given in this explanation. So networking in MANET is a greater part of principal functionality of the network protocols, should be designed for the self-configuration, dynamic and unstable peer-to-peer communication environment. The primary focus of networking protocols is to utilize one-hop transmission services which are given by the enabling technologies to develop end-to-end reliable services from a sender to receiver. To establish an end-to-end communication, the server needs to find a receiver inside the network. The fundamental point of location service is to dynamically map the address of the receiver device to its present location of the network. And which are the applications? Presentation of new innovations like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, IEEE 802.11, WiMAX and Hyperland enormously encourages the deployment of ad hoc technology and new ad hoc networking applications mainly in specific fields like emergency services, disaster recovery, and environmental monitoring. In addition, we have adaptability of manets makes this innovation alluring for a new practical situations like instance in PAN, home networking, home law and enforcement operations, commercial and educational applications. Sensor networks, mobile ad hoc networks, frameworks are of currently created adopt to methodology of not having middleware, yet rather depend on every application to handle every one of the services if needed. So here we have finished the different types of networks. Those are there in unit 5, and I can declare that all the topics have been covered in unit 5, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.